Welcome to Awakening You channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Hi my friend, it's always an honor for me to connect with your sacred presence in this way. The higher light pouring in lately has been very powerful, but after several months of intense energetic shifts, things are starting to level out within and around us. The past few months have left many who are sensitive to energy feeling zapped to the core. And even that is an understatement. Although there is no such thing as ever being disconnected from spirit or source energy, it most definitely felt like we were, more often than not. The turning point, where many of us started to sense more balance in our state of being, manifested around the equinox, which took place on September 23. On this day, an energetic opening occurred that allowed us to anchor deeper peace within our body, mind, and emotions. Embracing the magic again when we personally and collectively move through intense energy cycles like the one we just completed, many of us tend to isolate ourselves from the world around us. This usually happens as a form of self-protection, similar to when a caterpillar builds its cocoon, creating a safe haven for it to slowly transform into a butterfly. When we are inside our energetic cocoon, things can feel dim, claustrophobic, and disjointed. So, it's only natural that when we are in this transitional stage, we have a more challenging time connecting with and feeling the magic of who we really are, and what life is truly all about. Although being in our energetic cocoons can make us feel isolated, it's also an excellent time to get to know ourselves on the deepest level. It's an opportunity to contemplate what we are ready to release and what we are ready to create more of. Just like when it's time for the caterpillar to become the butterfly, it's now time for us to spread our own energetic wings and fly. It's time to live in the fullness and magic of who we really are. The magic of the universe has always been available to us. Many of us are quite familiar with this magic. It is familiar to us because it's who we are at our core. All of the diligent inner work and healing that we continuously choose to walk through is opening us up to experiencing more of this magic. Even during intense times when the magic feels like it's missing, it's all serving to elevate us to higher states of consciousness where magic can instantly be seen, felt, and experienced fully. This October holds a lot of magic for us to embrace, in ways that will become more noticeable. Strength through vulnerability. When we think of being vulnerable, we don't usually associate it with being bold. However, one of the boldest and most courageous things we can do in today's world is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not to be mistaken for weakness. Being vulnerable simply means we allow ourselves to be open and available to life. If we always have armor up between us and the world around us, we block ourselves off from being available to most of our blessings. When it comes to being vulnerable, the mind will think things like, but, this person betrayed me, or that person did this to me. This is just the mind's way of trying to keep itself safe. Know that these experiences do not define who we really are. The sooner we free ourselves from the stories and illusions of insult and injury that keep our armor up 24/7, the sooner we become more available to experiencing joyful blessings. Of course, it is important to be discerning as far as who we are vulnerable to. We don't have to be vulnerable with everyone. Remember that when someone is vulnerable with us or vice versa, it's a privilege for whoever is on the receiving end of that. So, let's choose mindfully as to who we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with. And later, if we notice that we may not have discerned too wisely, that's okay. Let's use the experience as feedback that it was simply not a positive vibrational match. At least we tried. The fact that we are willing to be vulnerable opens us up to being more available to the good all around us. So how is all this vulnerability showing up in the world? People all over the world who have been oppressed by the old institutions are now taking a leap of faith, and standing up for conscious change. They are being vulnerable enough to vocalize their desires for peace, fairness, and equality. Look at how being bold enough to be vulnerable has shifted the energy around the Syrian matter. People there rallied for a peaceful alternative, and that's what we got. In some countries, being bold enough to be vulnerable is a cause for punishment. Yet people are still rising, setting aside their differences, and overcoming their fear of being vulnerable, to create positive change in the world. A time to rest after all the excitement we've experienced over the last several months. We deserve some time to rest and pamper ourselves. Many of us who tend to engage fully in relationships, or who are involved with projects that require a lot of our energy and attention, would also benefit greatly by adding equal amounts of rest into our daily routine. Resting doesn't mean we put our lives on hold. However, it does mean we allow ourselves the time to simply just be rather than always having to do. We are being gifted with the opportunity right now to experience a bit of a break from the intense energies. This is a great time to pause and just enjoy life. Let's put our feet up and receive all the beauty life has to offer us. We've earned it. Holistic listening. In addition to resting, October will also offer us the space to strengthen our ability to listen holistically. Holistic listening is a powerful and beneficial practice. It can help us receive greater clarity and peace as we navigate our lives. When we listen holistically, we react less. We become more understanding and non-judgmental. We are fully present when someone or something is communicating with us, without thinking of what to say next as we are listening. Holistic listening strengthens the relationship we have with our intuition, and ultimately, our spirit. Over these next few weeks, our ability to listen holistically will be strengthened. You may also notice that you remember your dreams more often, and that they seem more vivid. You may notice a high-pitched ringing in your ear that briefly comes and goes. You may start having thoughts outside of the stream of thoughts you usually have. If you are creative, you may find yourself feeling more inspired and in tune with the art that wants to be birthed through you. If anything like this comes up for you, know that it's just you strengthening your ability to listen holistically. Strengthening our intuitive gifts. As we strengthen our ability to listen holistically, October will give us the opportunity to develop our intuitive gifts even more. Developing our natural intuitive gifts will allow us to view things from a much more expanded perspective. As we develop our intuitive gifts, we may also start to notice energy more. This can show up as seeing the auras around people, animals, and things in nature. We may notice that we can feel and sense energy more. This can show up as goosebumps in the body, or warmth in the hands, feet, back of the neck, face, or stomach. We may also notice number sequences more, such as the clock reading 11:11, 2:22, 3:33, etc. This often happens to help us realize a synchronicity that is going on around us. We may notice energy balls of blue, pink, white, or golden light in our peripheral vision. We may also see sparks, like mini shooting stars. This happens to remind us to pay attention to what's happening around us in that moment. There's usually a message or confirmation trying to reveal itself. Our ability to connect with and hear our intuition will become easier. We may also notice an awakening of new or old desires to learn more about healing and energy therapies. And we may notice a desire to help and support others coming through even more clearly. All of these gifts, and much more, are already within each of us. There are cycles of time that are more conducive to helping us develop these gifts, and this month is one of those times. So, if there's a class, course, new book, group, or personal practice you feel drawn to, this will be an excellent time to immerse yourself in it. Overall, October will be gentler energetically than the past several months have been, giving us the opportunity to recharge. As always, make sure to nurture and take good care of yourself. Until next time, with love.